Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Spirit Guide Show. Today's, I think, the 10th episode. Thank you so much for coming back every time. And let me know where you're from in the chat while other people are still joining us. I see that we have Maria from Northern California. Hi, Maria. We have Tanel from San Diego. And yeah, let me know where else you're from. We have Jasmine from Los Angeles, California. Awesome. Excuse me. Arlene from Austin. Marie from Yorkshire in England. George from Southern California. Amanda from Arizona. Chad from Florida. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Amy from England. This week, we will be talking about evil spirits and how to protect yourself from unwanted attention. Maybe you've had an unpleasant or even scary experience, weren't sure if what you experienced was malicious or not, and can't distinguish between your own irrational fears and spirits that don't have your best interests at heart. These are normal questions that lots of people have. So now you want to know what to do about it. And I'm happy to help you with that. By the end of the show, you will know, 1, if evil spirits are real, 2, how to recognize negative entities, 3, how to protect yourself from them. And then in the second part of the show, we're going to do mini readings. I'll connect you with your guides and tell you what their message is for you. And in the third part, we're going to do a Q&A. So you can ask me questions about what we talked about today or anything else to do with spirit guides. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Yamile Yemoonyah. I'm a spirit guide medium, Hay House author, founder of Spirit Guide Society. And you can find me at thespiritguidemedium.com. In case you haven't found my website yet, here it is. In the meantime, we have also Amanda from Arizona, Chad from Florida, Amy from England, and Elisa from El Paso in Texas. All right. So let me know. Have you ever had an experience with a scary or evil spirit? Just type yes or no in the chat. I'm curious how many of you have ever had an experience that scared you so much that you thought this was a scary spirit or even an evil spirit. So Tanel says yes. Arlene says yes. Elisa says yes. Someone without a name says no. George says no. Chat said yes. David says no. Amy says yes. Marie says no. All right, awesome. Awesome. While you're at it, you can share this live stream with anyone that might be interested in the topic. I would be very grateful if you did so. There's a share button somewhere around here, somewhere around my face. I'm not entirely sure where it is on your screen, but you can share it on social media or I think even via email. Also, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, please come on over here to where we do the actual live stream. You can find the link either in the description below or above, depending on where you're watching. If you have tech issues, like you can't see me anymore, you can't hear me anymore, then reload the screen. That usually solves the problem, like refresh it, refresh your browser, and then if it still isn't fixed, then let us know in the chat, because then I can maybe do something about it. All right, so let's dive right in. Do evil spirits exist? This is a big question, and depending on your personal spiritual tradition or cultural heritage, the answer will be different. My personal stance, and what I want to share with you today, is that just like among humans, there are nice spirits and not so nice spirits. Even if most of them can't be classified as evil, I personally actually don't think evil exists. I just think that we might have opposing views on the world that don't go together, and so we interpret the others as evil. Anyway, So I don't think, like, even if there are spirits out there that might not have your best interests at heart, they might not always be evil, just as an aside. Anyway, so even if most of them can't be classified as evil, they might have a different agenda than you do, like I just said, and simply not care about yours. So to assume that all spirits have your best interest at heart is, in my opinion, a bit naive. And I know there are spiritual traditions out there and cultures that say all spirits are good. As soon as, like, you leave the physical world, you're automatically enlightened. I don't subscribe to that belief. In our physical reality, we don't just invite any stranger into our house, right? The same goes for the spirit world. Why would it be different? You need to build trust first. You need to slowly build a relationship over time with these spirits. And we'll talk about that a little bit more on later. So that being said, note, and this is important, that there's a difference between spirits and spirit guides. So spirits is any non-physical entity, and a spirit guide is someone who comes from the higher realms, who is connected to you in unconditional love and wants to help you on your spiritual path or in day-to-day life. So by definition, all spirit guides are nice. So any spirit guide is happy to help you. So there are no spirit guides that are evil. That's just not possible. But there are spirits that might not be as nice as your spirit guides. And that's a difference that you need to make. So now we come to the second question: how to recognize negative entities. So now that we know that it's important to distinguish between friendly and unfriendly spirits, general spirits, not spirit guides, we need to learn how to distinguish the two from each other, right? You want to know, is this a friendly spirit? Is this a not so friendly spirit? To do so, we first need to make another distinction, though. The one between your own fear and an evil spirit. Let me explain that. Just because you are scared does not mean that the spirit is evil. The fear could be unfounded and based on either a traumatic experience that you had as a child, your religious upbringing, or just simply watching too many scary Hollywood movies. So if you see a shadow being, for example, like Yashira shared with us in the chat, and maybe then you remember a scary movie about that topic where you saw shadow beings and in the movie they were bad spirits, you get scared. But the being itself might in fact be friendly, right? So fear side, how do we know if a spirit has our best interest at heart? And I'm going to be really honest with you, and you might not like this answer, but we don't. You can't tell right away, oh, this is a nice spirit, this is a not so nice spirit. It's the same as with humans. You can't tell on first sight if a spirit is nice or not nice. Like the scariest looking person, as in human person, might be like a total sweetheart, and the innocent looking person might be a serial killer. Again, don't let that hold you back just because you can't tell right away. You can take precautions to make sure you are safe. And in daily life, you don't stay indoors at all times just to avoid mean people, right? You take precautions and you go about your day. And the same thing, you can use that same approach to the spirit world. So be aware, take the necessary precautions, and have fun, just like in life. So what can you do to protect yourself? Let's talk about that now. So there are three main ways to protect yourself. The first one is psychic protection. And you've probably heard about that. So just like you lock your house to avoid intruders, you even A lot of people do it even if they're inside their house. You lock the door, right? Just to make sure. The same way, you need to practice psychic protection to avoid psychic intruders. So and there are lots of different ways how to do that. Some people like to create a bubble around them in a certain color, or they envision themselves putting on an armor before they leave the house. They ask their protective spirit to be with them. There's lots of ways. And you can just, there's not enough time for me to go through all these ways, but you can really just Google psychic protection and you'll find at least 100 different ways to do it. Maybe read 4 or 5, pick the one that speaks to you most, that like makes sense to you, and use that. And do it every morning on a daily basis, definitely before you leave the house. But even if you're at home, just do it on a regular basis. Maybe when you're still in bed, before you get out of bed, in the shower. Combine it with something that you do anyway, so it becomes part of your morning routine. So that's number 1, psychic protection. Number 2, cleansing your energy, cleansing your aura, cleansing your energy. So that if something comes and gets stuck, even if it's just an emotion from, let's say, your partner is in a bad mood, and so their energy goes into your aura, you need to clean that out. Not because your partner is a bad person, but because you need to just clean out your energy field, just like you sometimes clean your house. And it keeps if something comes closer, you clean it out, and that's it. So just, like I said, just like a daily shower keeps your physical body free of microscopic intruders, so does regular spiritual cleaning keep your energy body free of bad spirits. Again, Google is your friend, pick the method that you like best, and do it every night on a daily basis. So every morning, psychic protection, every night, energy cleansing. This doesn't have to take long, especially if you're used to it. It can take 10 seconds and you're done. And then number 3, and this is the most important method of the 3, just like you don't sign over your money to someone on a first date, you need to build trust with the spirit over time. So you need to go step by step, baby steps, and slowly build a relationship, just like you would with a human. If you meet someone new, they're not your best friend right away and you trust them with everything. You take your time getting to know them, and you give them time getting to know you. So don't rush it. When you meet a new guide, see how it makes you feel. And yes, I'm talking about feelings here. And if you get scared, yes, that could be just you. It could be that it's really scary. But if you get scared, take a step back first. Then examine where the fear is coming from, and then act accordingly. Then see if the information they have for you actually improves your life. So if they volunteer some information about how you can improve something, then see if it actually improves your life. Do you feel better afterward? Do you feel more peaceful? Do you feel more empowered? Or do you feel sad and abused and scared? If that's the case, ban that spirit from your space. Then also, if you want to ask them questions, ask them small, not so important questions first, just to see how their reactions are, just to see if their information is useful. Don't immediately entrust them with the biggest questions you have about your life that could have a real big impact on your life. You don't want to do that. Then later, build up to the big questions once you trust them. And see it like any other kind of relationship. Apply the same rules. Err on the cautious side. And one tip that's really important, reflect on your own relationship style. Like, how do you go about relationships? How do you go about making new friends? The way you do it and the way it works for you in real life, or sorry, in the physical life, is the same as you do it with spirits. So a little warning here, if you are someone, for example, who attracts a lot of abusive relationships, then you might want to work on your relationship style first, on how you build relationships so that you don't attract abusive people into your life, because that transfers to the spirit world. If you are someone who gets abused easily, then it also attracts in the spirit world spirits that might not be so nice. So then work on your relationship issues first, and then go and find a spirit guide. But if you are someone who's like always the life of the party and you feel safe like meeting people, and you always attract like really nice people and really interesting people, the same will happen in the spirit world. So that's important. Relationships. How do you live your relationships? So these are the 3 ways to protect yourself from evil spirits or scary spirits. So let me know what is like the biggest takeaway that you learned from what I just told you. I would love to know what that is. Share that with us in the chat. And if you have any questions about all of this, then please also post them in the chat and I will be happy to answer them. Because this is an important topic. Lots of people are scared. And I hope that this helps a little bit, what I just shared with you. So let me know if there's something that really helped you, or if you have questions, post them in the chat, please. Okay, Arlene asks how to keep spirits away, how to build trust slowly. Again, how to build trust slowly is you do it just like with humans. You don't invite like someone on the first date to your house. You go somewhere else first. You meet at a coffee shop. You go to a restaurant. You don't give them your house key right away. So it's the same. Like, go slow. Like if you want to meet your spirit guide and you do a meditation, for example, and you feel something, you see something, you hear something, great. Then don't immediately open up all your chakras to them and say like, come in. No, you just say, hey, who are you? How are you? And you got just go slow. It's the same way as you do it with humans, basically. Jasmine says, I appreciate the recommendation of instilling psychic protection daily. I usually only do so during my divination. Yes, I think it's important to do it daily so you can make it a habit and you're generally protected, not just when you do spiritual work, because outside of doing spiritual work, we can also like attract negative energy. And again, negative energy is not always evil spirits. It can also just be like your partner is in a bad mood or something else. Chad says, when speaking of a negative entity, can this mean both spirit and a physical being? Yes, of course. I mean, here I'm specifically talking about spiritual beings, but yes, in general, it includes physical beings. Not all humans are nice either. Tanel says, I learned that I need to cleanse my energy. Thank you. You're welcome. David says, the way you make relationships is an interesting one. How do spirits attract you? Is it like random encounters, or are they attracted to you? That's a very interesting question. Let me read that again. The way you make relationships is an interesting one. How do spirits attract you? Is it like random encounters, or they attract to you? I think it's very similar to, again, how human relationships work. It's partially a big part your own energy, who you attract. For example, if you are someone you like partying, you will meet like way more people as if you are like a huge introvert who likes to sit at home and read books, right? So someone who likes to party meets more people and needs to be a bit more careful, for example. Someone who only sits at home and reads doesn't have to be just as careful, but you need to still know the rules. I hope that answers your question. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's random, of course. Like sometimes we just like, even if we are like bookworms who always sit at home, we go to the bakery and by chance we meet someone who might be really nice or maybe not so nice. So it's both. We attract people and we randomly meet them in the spirit world and here. And then someone without a name again, ISS, I like the part about protecting my energy, but what is the best way to cleanse your energy? I like to, when I take a shower, I like to visualize that the water that's coming down is also cleansing my energy field. And so I basically close my eyes for 5 seconds, visualize like that the water is like light that goes all through my energy field and cleanses it and washes everything away. That's one way. But again, there's a million other ways. Everyone does it differently. You can go to Google, type in energy cleansing, do a little bit of research, and just pick one that speaks to you. Just the one that you like best, use it for a while. If you feel, oh, I want to try something else, Google it again, pick another one until you find one that you just feel comfortable with and that you can do every day. Jasmine says, can there be ancestors with negative intentions? Yes, I think so. Yes, I think so. I used to subscribe to the belief that spiritualism promotes, which says that as soon as someone dies, they go into the spirit world and they're automatically nice people. But I kind of changed my stance on that because I don't think that just because we die, we're suddenly like perfect people or suddenly angels. I think if you were a serial killer here in this lifetime, then when you pass over, yes, you become wiser automatically because like you're shedding like the body and the physical and all that goes with it. But it doesn't make you like an angel right away. I think there are some steps in between that you have to go through. And so as long as that person hasn't reached a certain limit, a certain like certain, I don't know what to call it, but I think you know what I mean, like basically went through the steps, I think we should be careful connecting with them. And someone who explains it really well is Daniel 4, and I'll type that in the chat, give me 1 sec. And he has written a book called Ancestral Medicine, I think, yeah. And that's all about this, how to connect with your ancestors and also how to distinguish between what he calls the well ancestors and the not so well ancestors. And that's also why I talked earlier about the difference between spirits and spirit guides, because your spirit guides, you can always trust your spirit guides because by definition, they want to help you because they're from the higher realms, like the realms where they are well and clear of any negative karma and energy, and they are connected to you by in unconditional love. Let's see. George says, I had an odd dream. A huge sea serpent wanted to do the bite on me. I was skeptical. But the biggest problem was I was just scared of its size and power. As above, so below. I am very defensive with everybody. Yes, exactly. Yeah, if you're someone who's automatically like naturally defensive, that's great, actually. I mean, because then you have, that means you have thick boundaries. It's harder for like spirits that don't have your best interests at heart to get to you. And then our guest without a name says, I'm not sure why my name isn't showing up. My name is Amanda. All right, thank you, Amanda. Now I know. Jessie says, my daughter is a magnet for spirit. How do I protect my house and her from all of that? She's 20 months and unwilling to do it for herself. 20 months? I don't think that's, because of course then she can't do it. Anyway, doesn't matter how old she is. Do these things for her. So you can, where she sleeps, you can do the protection and the, okay, 20 months. Yeah, you can do the protection and the cleansing for her where she sleeps. That's her place, her room. Keep that clean for her. And when she grows up, like, make it a game. The protective, the psychic protection and the cleansing. Do it with your kids. It's not that hard. If you make it a game, they will just get used to it, and they will do it with you. What else can you do? Bring crystals in. Crystals, like, look it up on Google, which crystals like are the best for her. Maybe look at whatever star sign she is, and find a crystal that works with that. Find crystals that are protective crystals, that are known to be protective crystals. Off the top of my head, I don't know any, but I'm not a crystal person. If we have someone here who knows, please type that in the chat, so that we can learn. So these kinds of things. And yes, black tourmaline. Thank you, Jasmine. Also, what you can do is, when she starts growing up, teach her these things, like really on an intellectual basis, especially kids that attract spirits. The best way to deal with that is knowledge, because then they know how to deal with it. They know what to do. If you do not talk about it, and they are natural mediums, for example, they will attract these spirits. They are not bad spirits, but they don't know what to do with it, and they could get scared because they don't know what to do about it. So teaching them is super important. And if you can't do it because you don't know, then find someone else. But this is actually a great opportunity for you to learn about these things for yourself and your kids. And I know people that became mediums only because they had kids that had mediumstic abilities, and they wanted to help their kids. And so they started learning about mediumship and discovered that they were natural mediums themselves. So yeah. Then David asks, do the spirits vary on level of consciousness? Like, can you meet a being that is not your spirit guide, and that being can be on a high level of consciousness? Absolutely, yes. For example, when I do readings for clients, I talk to their spirit guides, which are spirits on a high level, because they're spirit guides, but they are not my spirit guides. So yeah, I see them as spirits, and they are someone else's spirit guide. I hope that makes sense. Black obsidian is another good one, right? Another good crystal. Thank you. Jessie says we use crystals: black tourmaline, smoky quartz, malachite, and selenite. Yes, awesome. Marie says, I've read jasper. I heard that's good for protection. I don't know. I've never used the red jasper. Kim says, what are your personal reasons for not using crystals? I do have some, but I don't know as much about it as some other people. That's why I'm asking for help here. And I couldn't come up with the name right now. I was meant tourmaline. But yes, I definitely have crystals. I love them. Janelle says, snowflake obsidian can protect you too. Awesome. I didn't know that either. And Kelly says, this was very interesting. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. I hope this has helped you guys a little bit. And now it's okay. If there are other questions, let me know now. We kind of took the questions first. I think that's what we're going to do in the future as well. Do the questions right after the topic I talked about. And then we'll do the readings at last. So yeah, if you have more questions, let me know. Also, I've talked about this a few times already. if you want to learn more, like about spirit guides, how to connect with them, etc., and use your spirit guides' wisdom to create real change in your own and other people's lives. I'm in the process of building a community for spiritual seekers, light workers, and spirit workers, with the purpose of receiving cosmic mentorship from your guides, developing your spiritual gifts, and discovering your purpose and live with purpose every day, and improving your own and other people's lives. And together we'll go on a modern day quest to make this world a more egalitarian, inclusive, and collaborative place with the help of our spirit guides. I think we live in times that we all need to step up, and we all need to help out to, like I said, make this place more inclusive and collaborative and bring the world together instead of divising. First, you'll learn how to connect with your guides. Then we'll have monthly missions like building your altar, ritual and ceremony, developing your spiritual practice, connecting through dreams, money and spirituality, and other topics. During these monthly missions, you will learn a new aspect of spirit guide communication, create real change in your own life and in other people's lives. So, and then by completing the simple action steps that are suggested to you by your spirit guides during the ceremonies, you will make this world a better place for yourself and for others. If this is something that sounds good to you and you want to be a part of, you can click the link below. It says follow your spirit guide's call, and it will bring you to a page on my website, and there you can sign up for the wait list. This is free. You don't pay anything. There's no obligation. It's just showing your interest that when I open up Spirit Guide Society, this community, that you want to be notified. That's really all. All right. Jessie says, oh yes, she talks to them and plays with them. Yes, then she's mediumistic. So there are few books for kids out there that teach them about mediumship. One, but definitely not for 20 months, year old, but for later. One is by Gordon Smith. It's called A Small Place? No. A Thin Place, that's it. So maybe read that. That might be interesting for you. I know there are 2 or 3 others, but I can't remember them right now. Maybe just Google it as well. Go to Amazon and see mediumship kids or something like this. Jasmine says, would seeing dark figures after sleep paralysis be considered a negative entity? Not necessarily. A lot of kids see dark figures, shadow figures, similar beings. It's oftentimes their interpretation of their spirit guides. Excuse me. So again, just because it scares us does not mean that it's a bad thing. Even kids already get influenced by society, by religion, by scary kids movies, and they see something and they automatically get scared. What your sleep paralysis says is because you have sleep paralysis, it's clear that this is like a real being. Otherwise, you wouldn't have sleep paralysis. So there is something there, but just because it's dark doesn't mean it's bad. So what I would do, what would I do? First of all, the next time when you see it, first bring back your energy to yourself. Breathe, calm down, and then see, like basically take your fear back if you're afraid. Try to calm down and then really pay attention. Send out like a thought to that being, and not even like a question or anything, maybe just like a thought tentacle, and see if you can feel their energy. What does their energy feel like apart from your fear? Does it feel like neutral? Does it feel curious? Does it feel happy? Does it feel sad? Does it feel angry? What does it feel like? And go from there. If it's like something that you don't like, then you tell it, leave. And you have to do that with conviction. You have to believe it. You are in control always, but you have to believe that you're in control. So tell it to leave. Tell it to only come back if it is connected to you in unconditional love. So you leave the door open to say the good answers. Because shadow beings can be your ancestors, can be angels. It's just like your fear interprets it in a way that you see it as a dark figure. And then also clean, again, like psychic protection, not just for yourself, but also for your house, for your apartment, for where you sleep. Cleanse it on a regular basis. And entities will automatically be filtered out. The more you cleanse it, the more you do it. Jesse says, no, they can be angels. I just had one last night come visit. Yes, they can also be angels. Absolutely. Totally. Angels and kids love each other. Maria says, to all, I really recommend it. This is practical spirituality we all need. Yes, I agree. David says, would you ever consider talking about the astral planes on one of your live streams? I know you can do it now because it's a big topic. Astral planes. I'll think about that. Yes, why not? Thank you for recommending it. And George says, my sea serpent angel was probably really nice. Maybe just me. It was a mouse. I wouldn't be so scared. If it was a mouse, I wouldn't be so scared. But then once a mouse, actually, I think the other day I had a reading with a client and it was a mouse. And sometimes there's like animals that don't seem obvious that everyone wants, like a bear or a jaguar or something like that. But like one of the guys that I once met and that helped me was a slug. And most people don't like slugs, right? But it was one of the best guides that ever helped me. Because it taught me that my sensitivity is a good thing. And that opened the door for me to all of this, like everything that I'm doing now. The first step I had to take was to be comfortable with my own sensitivity and not think that it's a bad thing. And Slug taught me that. So yeah, little animal guides can be just as powerful. Maria says, some of the greatest shamans have had a mouse as their power animal. They are survivors. Yes, that's true. That's definitely true. All right, guys, we're going to go to the third part. We answered the questions now, and we are going to do readings. So here's how it works. You find the Ask a Question section. If you're on a laptop or a desktop, it's right under the video. It says Ask a Question. And you can click on it, and in there you type newbie, nothing else, no question, no nothing. And only if you've never had a reading from me. Let these people go first, please. So anyone who's never had a reading, go to the Ask a Question, type newbie. If you're on your phone, you might have to click on View Chat, and then you'll see a little question mark, a little button with a question mark. Click on that. That's the same thing. That's the Ask a Question section. Type newbie in there. All right. Let's see. All right, let's try Tanel. I think we tried you last time and it didn't work out. Let's try Jasmine. I'm inviting you guys, and you'll get a little like notification that says you're invited. You have to say that you accept, and then you'll be here. Okay, let me go with Tanel first. And Jasmine, I'm gonna mute you until then. Hi, how are you, Tanel?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see what I can get for you. All right, there's an ancestor for you. It's an interesting one because it's almost like this ancestor is, it's almost like it's in between a nature spirit and an ancestor. Oh, hold on. Right. Okay. So, you know, in some cultures, people don't just consider people as their ancestors, but also other beings like gods, goddesses, and nature spirits. That is the case here. So this is like, yeah, in between an ancestor and a nature spirit. It's definitely a female. It is, and this definitely has to do with healing. So are you aware that you have healing abilities?
No.
Okay, well, you do.
Okay.
This might, and don't just think about like healing as in like a doctor or a nurse or alternative healing or a Reiki master. You could be a kindergarten teacher and be great with helping kids that when you don't actually work as a healer, you don't have that label, but you might like still be a great healer in that as a kindergarten teacher. So think like out of the box when I say you have healing abilities. Think about your life, look back, where do you help people get better in some form? Again, it doesn't have to be physical, can be emotional, can be mental, can be all, but yeah, that's what I'm getting for you, or you definitely have healing abilities. This being is very old, very, very old. It's almost like when some cultures talk about like in their stories about the beginning, like this being would be one of the ones that emerged very early. So there's a lot of wisdom, lots and lots of wisdom, and she wants to pass that on to you. So you want to work with your ancestors, you want to work with nature and nature spirits, and you want to open your own innate wisdom because there's a lot of it. And your friends know that, and your friends come to you because you have wisdom. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And for you, it's important to not just connect with the ancestors that came right before you, like, I don't know, for example, your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, but like further back. You don't have to know their names. You do not have to know where they lived exactly. You don't have to know anything about them in the sense that you have data about them. You can just like meditate and connect with them on the inner level.
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and this being the way it shows, it's fairly small. I don't know if you can see it. A little bit bigger than this. She's not telling me a name, but she's like dark skinned. She's almost like leathery skin because yeah, very old being. She has completely gray hair. That's long hair. That's like together in a braid on the back. Wearing a long skirt. I can't see the top clearly, but she's very kind and she has a very nice smile. She wants to work with you to bring out, like I said, like your healing abilities and your wisdom.
Okay. That all makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's it. I'm glad to hear it.
Thank
You're
you
very
so
welcome.
much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, and now we have Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
I'm so well. Thank you so much.
Oh, hi. So let's see who I got for you. All right, there's an angel here for you. It's a female angel. and she's talking about grace. That's the only thing I heard so far. Grace. I have no idea what that means yet. But does that, like, in some sense, make sense to you so far?
Kind of. I think I have an idea of who it is.
Okay, don't tell me more. Just like,
okay.
Sometimes
Okay.
they give me like one image or one word, and I have no idea what it means, and they will just give me that, and then I will have to tell like the person, like, this is what I get. I hope this makes sense to you. And oftentimes it does, so that's good. So let's see. Grace. What do you want to tell me about grace? All right, what I'm getting is there's a situation in your life that either just ended or is is being wrapped up, but anyway, like there is and you had like two ways or multiple ways to deal with that, and you went for the graceful solution, even though your emotions might have told you something different. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she wants to tell you that she's proud of you, that you did it this way, that you solved it gracefully, that you like didn't listen to like the side of you that was maybe more I don't know the right word, but that would have taken not the high path. And she wants you to know that there is a big lesson in this, and she wants you to reflect on that lesson and take that lesson with you on your path forward in life.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you.
You're very welcome. She also says it's like this sounds weird, but almost like it earned you karma points or light points in the sense that, you learned something. It created more light inside of you, and that is going to help you, with the rest of your life. So it's basically, hey, well done. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I needed to hear that.
Awesome. So did that make sense to you?
Yeah, you made me emotional. Thank you.
Okay, then it's good. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, let's see who else wants to have a reading. Give me 1 sec. My dog wants to leave the room. I have to let him out. All right, I'm back. Where were we? Let's invite Chad. And Amy. Oh, we have someone here. Who's this? Hi, Chad.
Hello.
Where are you from?
I live in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, nice.
I'm from Vermont.
Okay. But you wanted more sun?
Yeah, the cold is a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, I can understand. All right, let's see. All right, Chad, there's a star being here for you. It shows itself like, actually, it's very unclear, but I can't, but I can see that there's a blue aura around it. I can see that it shows itself a little bit like the Hollywood movie Grace, but not in a negative form. So it's like with a big head and the spindly arms and all that. And blue aura, the blue aura, they usually show me a blue aura when they want to tell me that they are from Sirius, so the star system Sirius. So there's a connection between you and the star system Sirius. There's a connection between you and, like, obviously this being. And it's telling me that you are definitely a sensitive soul, and throughout your life you didn't always like that. Would that make sense to you?
Yes.
And also that by now, at least partially, you know that it can be a good thing.
Yes.
And you're slowly making peace with it. So it's telling me that just like most people that have our beings as spirit guides, you are here to bring energy that is not native to the planet to Mother Earth. So you're basically like the receiver of Syrian energy, and then you get it, like you receive it, and then you spread it here around the world. And you're not the only one. There's millions that do it all together, and together, like, bring in new energy, and that's important. And so your sensitivity helps you to be a receiver for that kind. And if you weren't, then you couldn't do your job. So you chose to be like this. Also, you get your information through claircognizance, which means that you get downloads, you get like aha moments, like sudden insights. It doesn't come, let's say, through feelings that you feel something. It doesn't come through visuals that you get visions, or maybe two, but like the claircognizance is the one that being wants to talk about. So you get information like, yeah, like these sudden insights. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
And so your guide wants you to pay more attention to these things, and to when you have these insights, these downloads, that you pay attention to them and either like speak them out loud, because then it's easier for you to remember, or write them down, or dictate them into your phone, even if it feels silly at the beginning. But it will help you to become more aware of the energies that you're bringing in, and that you can like spread by talking to people, whatever it is, writing a book, or just like on social media, or just family and friends. But it's important that you basically record these things that come through.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Anything
That
about
helps.
work?
What's that? Sorry?
Anything about a direction for work that I
Oh, okay, let me see.
should go toward?
I'm only your okay, but by the way, like this, your spirit guide doesn't show itself as either male or female. So, but what I'm getting is, and I'm just getting one word again, technology. Does that make sense?
All right.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Okay.
Maybe
then
it'll come to me.
Then let me see if there's more. Okay, the feeling I get is that there are two options for this. Like you're standing at a crossroads, and you can either go this way or that way. And then I'm getting, again, the word technology, bringing new technology in is where you need to go. However, again, I mentioned something similar earlier. Technology does not necessarily mean like you have to work with computers. Technology can also be like you're a psychologist and you have a new technique of doing your work. So technology can be mental technology, for example, or emotional technology, but something that helps fix things or make things better.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting.
Okay.
Does that make it a little bit clearer?
Yes. Yes, I thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too. All right. All right, let's see. I can maybe, let me check the chat if there were questions. All right, Mary, I'm not sure why you can't see me. That's weird. But I think that's on your side. All right. I think I answered all the questions. And I can do one more quick reading. So let's see. Let's try Jessie. And let's try Mike, February 25th. I feel like I have a closer connection now than in life. I feel like he's around. I've been told he will become my spirit guide. Is this true? Yes and no. So first of all, sorry for your loss. It can absolutely be true that you have a closer connection with him now than you had before. That is fairly common. And then you feel him around. Great. Trust yourself. Trust that this is real. And then you can also, like, you can test this if it's real. You can say, hey, if you're around, because I feel you, come closer. And then you can feel, if you like the feeling that you have when he's around, if it becomes stronger, and then you can say, hey, can you step away from me for a bit? And then you can feel if that feeling goes away. You can also, that's the first step with any spirit guide. If you think you know who your spirit guide is, or actually it doesn't matter if you think you know them, you can ask your guide. First of all, say what I always say, that you only from the higher realms that are connected to you in unconditional love, that filters out all the spirits that are not so nice. Then you ask them to step close to you so you can feel them or hear them or see them. And then once they're there and you feel something, and that could be just like a tingling in your nose or something like, I know one medium who, when the spirits come close, her nose starts running, and that's how she knows the spirits are there. It's different for everyone. For me, it feels more like the air around me becomes thicker, and then I know, okay, someone is there. And then I can ask them, come closer. And then I tell them, go away. And if they react, then I know that I'm talking to an intelligent being, right? You can do the same, Michael. You can do the same with your friends. This is real. And then you've been told that he will become your spirit guide. We all have a team of guides, and the thing is, he can't be your main guide, because your main guide will stay with you for your entire life, and he has been here in the physical with you, so he can't have been your spirit guide your entire life. However, that doesn't a guide in some ways. For example, he's close, he can help you with certain things, but he's not your main guide. I hope that makes sense. All right, now let's get to Jessie. Let me unmute you. Hi, Jessie. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I can't. Now I can hear you. Awesome. I'm great. Thank you. Let's see who's here for you. Oh, I lost you. Try to come back, but otherwise I'll just do the reading without you. You will have to let me know in the chat if it makes sense. So this is interesting because there's a bunch of like beings that are stepping forward. There's the animal guides. Okay, let's say with the animal guides. But there's a bunch. All right. Who are you? All right, I think, yeah, okay. There's and I think last time we had this as well. It's animal guide. It's dog, but it's a puppy. It's black and white. There are some children too in the background. Anyway, so the puppy is around you. The children are right behind the puppy. Okay, so sorry, this is a bit all over the place, but this is different than most readings. So the children, there are 2 or 3 children, and I have a strong feeling that these are 2 or 3 children that might have passed young in your family. This can be maybe you lost a child. If so, sorry about that. Or it could be like in your family generally, like maybe your mother, your grandmother, your sister. But it feels like there are 2 or 3 children from the spirit world who belong, but who passed young. Or it might have even been like an abortion, something like this. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. But let's go back to the puppy. There's a strong connection to animals. You are someone who really cares about animals. And I'm getting the feeling that you're generally a caring person. And you, especially when you feel that someone is an underdog or can't take care of themselves. Okay, let me check the chat if this makes sense so far. Okay, you say yes. Okay. And from your guide, I get the feeling that, yeah, animals and kids are drawn to you because you have a really nice energy, like a really energy, you have a very light energy. And so, yeah, animals and kids are drawn to you. Let me know again in the chat if this makes sense. And basically, this guide wants you to be aware of this and bring it out more, like this energy that attracts children and animals. He wants you to use that more, to become aware of it and let it like bubble up more. Because like, yeah, you have that very light energy, light in the sense of like light as a feather, but also light as in sunlight. And let your light shine. That's the message. Let the lighting, let your joy come out more, live more joyfully, and more easeful. You have these qualities in you, and your guide wants you to bring these out, or he wants to help you to bring these out. Okay, let me check. Jessie, Madam, let me know if what I said made sense to you. That's important. As long as you can hear me, I can talk to you via chat. All right, let's see. Yes, okay, with an exclamation mark, so it makes sense. Awesome. So then, yeah, I hope this has helped everyone. I hope you learned something today. And if you want to book a one-on-one reading with me, you can do so. You can click that same button below the video. It says follow your guide's call. You can sign up for the wait list, and then you can, then you can get a 25% coupon code for your reading, so % off. Also, if you want to be notified once Spirit Guide Society opens its doors again, like the community that I talked earlier about, so you can join a community of like-minded people and together make this world a better place with the help of your spirit guides, then also click that button below, sign up for the waitlist. Again, that's free. There's no, you don't have to pay anything. It's just to get notified. And I definitely hope you join me for that. And you can also come and join me on Instagram. And here's the URL in the chat. And I will be more active there again. That's it for today. Thank you so much for coming. And I see you next time. Bye, guys.